Ahead of key municipal elections in Maharashtra, there's a battle for competitive Hindutva, with the BJP, the Shiv Sena and the Maharashtra Nirman Sena making strident remarks from loudspeakers at places of worship, calls to loudly chant the Hanuman Chalisa, to remarks by the former BJP Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis asking the Shiv Sena where they were when the Babri Masjid was demolished. That's our big debate. Why is it happening right now? Joining us now, Anand Dubey, spokesperson of the Shiv Sena, Kumar Ketkar of the Congress, Rita Gupta, spokesperson of the Maharashtra Nirman Sena, and will be joined by Niranjan Shetty of the BJP in a few moments. Anand Dubey, is this linked to elections, to municipal elections, that there is this battle for establishing oneself as the most strident Hindutva party in Maharashtra is concerned? Mr. Dubey, can you hear me?
हाँ सर, अभी आवाज आई
Mr. Dubey, why is this happening now? Is this because of municipal elections that you've got the MNS, the Shiv Sena and the BJP making these more and more strong pro-Hindutva comments?
सर प्रणाम, पहले नमस्कार। सर ये आपने बिल्कुल सही कहा कि ये चुनाव के मद्देनजर ही ये जो प्रोपेगेंडा चलाया जा रहा है। पहले 2-2.5 सालों में इन्होंने हमारी सरकार को गिराने का भरपूर प्रयास किया। जब ये पूरी तरह से असफल हो गए तब इन्होंने एक नया मुद्दा लेकर आया कि कैसे करके शिवसेना को हिंदुत्व का एक दाग लगा दिया जाए कि भाई ये असली हिंदुत्व नहीं है, असली हिंदुत्व बीजेपी है। और कुछ उनकी टीमों को उन्होंने लाया, ABCD टीमों को, और इस प्रोपेगेंडा के तहत उन्होंने एक ऐसी साजिश रची कि महाराष्ट्र की कानून व्यवस्था बिगड़ जाए, महाविकास आघाड़ी सरकार पर आरोप लग जाए और हिंदू मुसलमान करके, अजान और हनुमान करके ये महाराष्ट्र को एक अस्थिर सरकार में बदलना चाहते हैं। ये इनकी मंशा रही है, लेकिन ये इसमें कामयाब नहीं हो रहे हैं क्योंकि हमारी सरकार का नेतृत्व आदरणीय उद्धव बाला साहब ठाकरे जी कर रहे हैं, जिनकी पहली प्राथमिकता है कानून व्यवस्था को बनाए रखना। हमारी पहली प्राथमिकता है कि
आनंद जी ये बताइए, बीजेपी को ये भी कहना है कि आप लोगों ने या तो महाराष्ट्र पुलिस ने जो कार्रवाई की है, जिन्होंने वो हनुमान चालीसा के बारे में कहा था कि चीफ मिनिस्टर के घर के बाहर हनुमान चालीसा बोलेंगे, उनके खिलाफ सेडिशन के चार्जेस है, बहुत सारे चार्जेस है, उनको जेल में लिया गया है, उनके खिलाफ मुकदमा चल रहा है। तो उनको कहना है कि ये करने का जरूरत क्या था?
सर देखिए, पहले आपको स्पष्ट कर दूं कि हम हनुमान चालीसा के विरोधी नहीं हैं। एक चुनी हुई सांसद अमरावती की महाराष्ट्र के मुख्यमंत्री को कहती है कि जब से ये मुख्यमंत्री बने हैं 7.5 लग गई है और इसे दूर करने के लिए आप हनुमान चालीसा पढ़िए, नहीं तो मैं आके घर में पढ़ूंगी। ये बहुत ही गैर जिम्मेदाराना बयान है। आदरणीय कोर्ट ने भी कहा कि
कैसे रहा है,
मैं बता रहा हूं, आदरणीय कोर्ट ने भी कहा कि जितना बड़ा आपका पद है आपकी उतनी बड़ी जिम्मेदारी होनी चाहिए। और उस समय पुलिस को जो उचित लगा, पुलिस ने कार्रवाई की। और कोर्ट के सामने जब ये विरोधी दलों ने कहा कि पुलिस ने गलत कार्रवाई की है, गलत चार्जेस लगाए हैं, तो उस समय कोर्ट ने कहा नहीं, पुलिस ने जो कार्रवाई की है सही की है। उस समय जो पुलिस को सही लगा है पुलिस ने किया है और कोर्ट में मामला विचाराधीन है। कोर्ट इसका पूरा संज्ञान ले रही है और इसीलिए अभी तक उनको देखिए इतनी आसानी से बेल नहीं मिला है, क्योंकि एक गंभीरता
आज शायद नहीं मिला है, बाद में शायद मिलेगा। अब कोर्ट के नियम, कोर्ट के टाइम टेबल वो हमारे हाथ में नहीं है। सो आई डोंट थिंक यू कैन मेक दैट लिंकेज। बट निरंजन शेट्टी, ऑलराइट, वन सेकंड सर, निरंजन शेट्टी also joins us. Mr. Shetty, the BJP has often argued that, it was unfair for these sedition charges to be applied against the leaders who wanted to say the Hanuman Chalisa outside the Chief Minister's residence. The Shiv Sena seems to say that this was entirely done by the police, and the police were independent in doing whatever it is that they were done. And what's more, by making these remarks of wanting to pronounce the Hanuman Chalisa outside the Chief Minister's house, the goal was actually to create differences between communities. How would you respond?
First of all, I don't think so. The charges that has been leveled against Mr. Raj Thackeray or the MNS workers, it is very unfair. Basically, both are the elected representative and they have every right. Now, my friend Mr. Anand Dubey needs to, rewind all the cassettes of late Bala Sahib Thackeray and hear out that the kind of speeches that he used to make and he used to level the, or I would say he used to challenge the government when they were not in power. So I think the legacy is been carried by Mr. Raj Thackeray. What's wrong if he is saying from a public rally, is asking the government to take action? If something is asking, see, in my view, it's a social, the responsibility of the CM to maintain social harmony. If at all there are certain sections which is using the loudspeaker without any permission, then why doesn't the government of the day take the action and ask them to take
Mr.
proper
Shetty,
permission?
where does the issue of loudspeaker now emerge? Is it because there are elections around the corner?
See, first of all, Vishnu, let me make it clear. Our stand has always been, since once, even before Mr. Raj Thackeray took up this issue, the Mumbai BJP President, Mr. Mangal Prabhat Lodha, had petitioned, as I had already said in your channels previously also. We had met the police commissioner and stated that the Supreme Court order should be followed in total spirit, especially in Maharashtra.
No, I'm sure, but why is this coming up now? And it's not just that. There are other remarks. Devendra Fadnavis making that remark about asking the Shiv Sena, where were you during the Babri demolition? You know, this follows a certain line of pushing a Hindutva agenda. I'm not making any value judgment on that. I'm only stating that there is a Hindutva agenda. Is this a battle of Hindutva within Maharashtra?
It was, yes, Vishnu, because it was he who said he was there near when the Babri Masjid was demolished, and it was he. So, of course, we have to revert to him back, and that is what our opposition leader Devendra Fadnavis responded to him.
Okay.
None of these Shiv Senics were ever present during the Babri Masjid demolition.
Okay, Rita, I know the Shiv Sena would want to reply to that, but Rita Gupta, where does this leave the Maharashtra Navnirman Sena? Some would suggest that you play the role of a spoiler in these municipal elections, which are very, very close very often in terms of numbers. The MNS is a spoiler. Whatever you do, you take away votes either from the BJP or the Shiv Sena.
Good evening. First of all, let me clear. Mr. Dubey said that we are the spoilers, or MNS doesn't have any work, or they are now taking the issue of loudspeaker. But let me tell you, 3 years back, Mr. Raj Thackeray in a rally had told ki please put down the loudspeaker, and if the loudspeakers are not coming down, then we have to take action. And Mr. Dubey, don't forget 2005, there was a government notice ki the loudspeakers should come down.
No, but he's
then
also said
the verdict
that
which
if the
was given, they
loudspeakers
didn't
don't
take.
come down, then the Hanuman Chalisa needs to be played even louder.
No, let me complete. No. You just let me complete. If you want me on this, you let me complete it. You know, the thing was like that, when very nice words it was said, nobody took it seriously. And Mr. Dubey, Balasaheb Thackeray ji, he had said this thing, I think many years before, कि when my satta or my government come, the first work I will do, I'll put all the loudspeakers down. If you want the video, I'll please send it over to you. Now Shiv Sena is behaving like, you know, they don't know anything. I think it is the CM's father, the God-bid Balasaheb Thackeray.
No,
he was a very gentle person and a very nice human being. No. Now this issue is only of a loudspeaker, and which they are not putting down.
So let me ask you about
what
loudspeaker.
Raj has said, if you're not putting it, don't put.
If Raj Thackeray ji makes a remark, this is what he said on Sunday. He said, wherever they put up loudspeakers, you must sound the Hanuman Chalisa at double the volume. I mean, isn't that something which actually creates differences between communities?
Now you tell me, if the government is not taking any action, so what should we do?
That's the justification.
No, it's not justifying. No, it's not justifying, but they're not listening.
The law into your own hands?
It's a verdict come in 2000. No, see, it's a nuisance. We are not doing anything on religion. Religion, we will never do that. See, if Raj Saab had to spoil the situation, we had to take the Aarti tomorrow. But he has sent a letter to everyone कि it's their festival. We don't have to do any nonsense in that time. कि their program should be
that's a relief.
in any way spoiled. So he's taken that issue on force. Everybody says Raj Thackeray is this, Raj Thackeray is finished. Please let me tell everyone, he has taken up the issue in a very good way, and you should not criticize a person who is doing a good work. And these three parties who are all together.
play the
What are
Hanuman
they doing?
Chalisa at double the volume, it's confrontational. I mean,
But if they don't listen, we have to take some action.
then you will be
sir.
confrontational, and
They
then one
should
knows
listen
in
to
our
us.
country where that sort of goes. Anyway, I just want to go across to Kumar Ketkar, who's been listening very
This
patiently.
is not a goon. Please, please take down your words. What I'm saying, when we are requesting
No, I'm not
them,
taking down
the
my words. I'll
loudspeaker has
repeat
to
my
come
words.
down.
It's a
Otherwise-
confrontational path that goes against
What
the
do you
path
say?
of peace. It's a confrontational remark which goes against
I
the
think
path
you-
of peace.
then you should have
It's
not
not a
called us on
question.
the
It's not a
channel.
question of taking down
You
my
should have
words.
not called us
I
on
would
the
actually
channel.
repeat those words. It was posed as a question to you. But let me go across to Kumar Ketkar. Mr. Ketkar, where does this leave the Congress? I mean, if you've got these strident voices pushing a particular Hindutva line, they have different agendas within that. Where does this leave the Congress in these elections
Congress
which are
should
coming
not
up?
fall into this trap of getting Hindutva on agenda on election or without election. And everybody is quoting Babri Thackeray. Babri Thackeray had said, according to her, that when he comes to power or when Shiv Sena comes to power, first thing he will do is to remove those loudspeakers. They were in power in 95 to 99. And again with BJP and Sena, Fadnavis and Uddhav Thackeray were together between 2014 and 2019. They did not even raise the issue when both of them were in power and both of them were claiming to be complete Hindutva. So if Fadnavis and Uddhav together could not do it, how can Fadnavis suddenly ask Uddhav to do it now and saying it is not a question of Hindutva, but it is a question of sound pollution or noise pollution and all that. I think that's a camouflage. Because elections have come, they have raised this issue. And moreover, they are saying that look at Raj Thackeray's earlier tapes of speech. Then look at Raj Thackeray's speeches just 3 years ago when he was saying that the chief villain of Indian politics is Narendra Modi and Amit Shah. They are the chief villains, and unless they are defeated, unless they are removed from power, it is not possible for India to have genuine democracy, genuine secular democracy. That was Raj Thackeray saying in public speeches. They are all available on YouTube. In fact, Raj Thackeray was more vocal and more strident and more militant against Narendra Modi and Amit Shah and against their... In fact, he used to say that Hindu-Muslim issue is the issue they will generally actually create for riots, and they will have riots so that they can influence the election. This is what I am saying. This is what Raj has said in public speeches. Now suddenly the BJP has found love with Raj Thackeray and they are talking about Hanuman Chalisa. Actually, I don't want to talk on Hanuman Chalisa. Congress will not fall in this trap. You are asking me what Congress will do. Congress will stick to its secular stand irrespective of elections or no elections.
Okay, Niranjan Chetty, in fact, Kumar Ketkar brings up an important point. I meant to ask you this. The fact that on the issue of Hanuman Chalisa, the BJP and the MNS appear to have the same sort of line. Both of them, are saying the same thing. Going ahead of the municipal elections, is there some sort of agreement or arrangement in play or in the works?
See, I think, Vishnu, we have never mentioned about the chanting of Hanuman Chalisa as such. What we were always, we petitioned the police commissioner about the removing of the loudspeaker. And I would like to make it clear again on your channel once again that even before Mr. Raj Thackeray carried out a public rally, our state president, Mr. Mangal Prabhat Lodha, and few of the other dignitaries and gone and requested the Honorable Police Commissioner to follow the rule of the law laid by the Supreme Court. Apart from that, what Mr. Kumar Ketkar has been saying, that he alleged about Mr. Raj Thackeray about speaking vehemently against the Narendra Modi. Now, I think Mr. Raj Thackeray has understood what is the exact difference between who is the person who can take India ahead. And thereafter, it was much more Mr. Sharad Pawar who was there during those times, who was probably misleading Raj Thackeray ji. Okay. So I think he has understood certain things which were there. Now I think Mr. Kumar Ketkar and his the people are feeling very unsafe that Raj Thackeray has come out in open and speaking against all this and is exposing, especially Mr. Sharad Pawar.
There is no reason for...
We all know how Mr. Kumar Ketkar is close to Mr. Sharad Pawar.
We are ready to fight, lose or win. We are not feeling unsafe at all because we are not involved in this Hindutva agenda, which has been raised just as on the eve of UP and other elections. Hijab was raised in Karnataka. Here it is Hanuman Chalisa.
That is what exactly Raj Thackeray said.
Not,
You never
let us not quibble about that. Let us not quibble about
that is what Mr. Raj Thackeray said yesterday.
You are saying that
Mr.
Raj
Sharad
Thackeray
Pawar never believed in Hindutva.
Okay, Mr. Dubey, you have a quick point to make. Go
He is
ahead.
a non-believer.
No, but you are saying
That is what yesterday Raj Thackeray
then
said.
why do you
That he is a
trust Raj
non-believer.
now? Why do
And
you not
his
trust him then?
daughter herself has admitted in the house.
No, but you decide. You decide.
Okay, one second, Mr. Ketkar. Let Anandji come in.
remarks
You yourself are
Before I go across to Ritaji for a last comment, yeah.
विष्णु जी,
Yes, yes.
पहले बीजेपी का जवाब दूंगा, फिर मनसे का 2 सेकंड।
बताइए।
कल जाने अनजाने में देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी ने कह दिया कि बाबरी ढांचा जब गिरा तो मैं वहां मौजूद था, लेकिन शिव सैनिक मौजूद नहीं थे। ये एक खबर है महानगर उस समय अखबार की, जिसकी हेडिंग है कि ढांचा भाजपा ने नहीं, शिवसेना के कार्यकर्ताओं ने गिराया। आज संजय राउत जी ने एक वीडियो ट्वीट किया आडवाणी जी का, जिसमें वो कह रहे हैं कि ढांचे के ऊपर मराठी में लोग बोल रहे थे, वो मानने को तैयार नहीं थे, हम समझ नहीं पा रहे थे। इसका मतलब ये सिद्ध होता है कि वहां शिवसैनिक थे, कोई भाजपाई नहीं था। पहली बात।
Mr. Shetty, respond to that.
एक मिनट, अब मनसे का जवाब।
नहीं, Anand ji, this is a very, it's a key point.
Anand ji was not there in Shiv Sena at that point.
No, but Devendra Fadnavis made such a prominent statement. Where were the Shiv Seniks?
Anand knows it. Anand was with us during those times.
No, but he says that Shiv Seniks were there then.
तभी मैं 12 साल का बच्चा था।
Being a Shiv
I was
Senik, he was
12
a
years
BJP
old
man
child.
previously, and now today he is a Shiv Senik. So he can claim that he was a Shiv Sena guy who was there. He was with us during those demolitions.
That doesn't
Babri
answer
Masjid.
the question. He's pointed out an article also.
विष्णु जी, देवेंद्र जी वहां थे।
Clearly evident that it is history and people have seen who were
All right,
okay.
All right. Look, I just want to leave this aside because I want to be fair to Ritaji to just give her a chance for a final comment. Ritaji, just one final comment. In these elections, where is the MNS going in terms of its own alliances?
I can't hear you. What do you say?
In terms of an alliance, are you headed the way of the BJP ahead of the crucial municipal elections?
See, that decision Mr. Raj Thackeray ji will take. That decision is not in our hand. See, आपको मैं एक चीज हिंदी में बताती हूँ कि क्या होता है पता है, जब रूमर्स और ये सब निकलते हैं ना, उनको एक बातों में से 100 बात निकालनी होती है।
पर ये 100 बात है या सिर्फ एक ही बात है? ये होने वाला है या नहीं होने वाला है? आप सिर्फ ये बताइए।
नहीं, वो मैं नहीं बता सकती, दैट इज नॉट इन माय हैंड। मगर जब हमने अयोध्या जाने की बात की, हनुमान चालीसा की बात की, तो हमको कहा गया कि हम हिंदुत्ववादी हो गए। क्यों? राज साहब हिंदुत्ववादी नहीं थे पहले? उन्होंने क्या कहा, आप वापस सुनिए। एवरीबडी इज ऑन द दिस।
No, I don't think there is any doubt of his credentials as a Hindutva leader. There's no doubt about that.
I am
That's
not
not the point.
against the loudspeaker or the religion, but अगर उनको देते हो तो हम भी करेंगे। This is our only saying.
All right,
I will
look,
not listen
I have to move on now. I'm traveling all over the country on this program tonight, and I'm afraid I'm out of time on this program.